Hi Booktube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I am coming to you with my weekly TBR. Why I just drew a blank there, I don't know. This is for week 27 and it starts on July 2nd and I think it goes to July the 8th. I didn't write that down. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So be it. So for those of you who watched my video yesterday that I literally just filmed 2 minutes ago, I did mention briefly my reading reset. And I promised I would talk about it in this video. So this is something that most people would never do. Never. I mean, when I say most people, I'm probably the only person who would ever do this. But I'm someone who likes a fresh start with stuff. I'm someone who likes, when stuff starts getting out of hand, when I start to feel overwhelmed, I like to just do a restart. Like if I was, working on a project, which is essentially reading is kind of a project, and I've gotten to this point, and this isn't recent, this isn't in the last week or last month or even last year. This has been a couple years I've been feeling this way, because if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you know that I've been talking about at the beginning of every year that I kind of want to slow down my reading. I want to enjoy my reading more. I want to, I mention all these things, and that's me trying to do a reset without doing a full reset. And I think that that's just what I needed to do. I think, guys, I made the decision and I feel so happy about it. So what is the reading reset, you might be asking? I literally scrapped everything from Goodreads. Everything that I've ever read, I scrapped from Goodreads. And I'm not re-uploading it. I'm not re-uploading what I've already read. Essentially, in a way, and I mean, I know I've read books. I've been reading books since I was like old enough to know what a book was. I have read books. But in terms of what's going on, like what I look at in terms of stats, in terms of spreadsheets, I've cleared my spreadsheets, you guys. As far as it looks right now, I have not read anything. Nothing. Everything is brand new. I haven't even been reading this week. So today, that day that I'm filming this is Friday. It's the 30th of June. The only book I've been reading this week is a Agatha Christie, and I don't even know if I'm going to finish it. Not because I'm not enjoying it, but because I want that free restart, or that fresh restart, on the 1st of July. I know. This, again, no one else would ever do this but me. So yeah, it looks like right now I haven't read anything ever. There are so many books over the last 4 or 5 years that I've been on BookTube and on Goodreads, maybe even since the beginning. Like, I listened to a lot of audio. There was one year, I think, that I read like 360 books, and a good chunk of those were audiobooks. And I've talked about this before, but that was one of the years that it was like, okay, I want to get through a lot of books because I'm on BookTube and I want stuff to share with people. So I'm going to listen to this at a really high speed just to get through it. And guys, I don't remember those books. I was going through my read book list, and so many of those books I want to reread and slow down and enjoy them. Does that make sense? Because when you're on BookTube, or even when you watch BookTube, I feel that it puts a lot of pressure to do things. And I felt like I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, for lack of a better term. And I just needed to reset everything. And like I said, I'm super excited. I am going to restart reading series at some point when I get to certain books. I'm probably not going to be rereading anything this year that's more recent. I might reread some stuff that I've read a number of years ago or what have you. But you might see some books pop up that maybe I've read before. You know what I mean? But I just want to enjoy my reading again. And this is how I did it. And I had someone comment, it was Ro, she was in the Killing Time with Cozies group, I think, on Discord. She's like, did you do something with your Goodreads? Because there's nothing on there, and I was looking for some recommendations. I'm like, yeah. I took it down to the studs, as I like to say. And again, guys, I feel good. I feel really, really good. I'm excited about the Harlequin project that I talked about in yesterday's video, or 5 minutes ago, to me. I'm excited about my new TBRs. If I get through these books, I get through these books. If I don't get through these books, so be it. They'll go back on the shelf, and I'll get to them at some other point. I'm really excited, you guys. I'm really excited. So, yeah, I know. It's something, again, that most people would never, ever do. Most people would probably, like, lose their minds if they lost everything that they have marked. Like, if they have lost everything that showed that they had read something. And I get that, because truth be told, I may have wiped the spreadsheets clean, but I did save a copy of this year's spreadsheet, along with the copies of, like, I have all my spreadsheets going back to 2016. They're in a folder on my Google Drive. They're in a folder on my Google Drive. The information is not gone. It's there if I want to access it. And I won't reread everything. Like, there were a lot of books there that I read them and, like, they weren't that great. And now that I'm in this process, I talked about this yesterday as well, that I'm starting to catalog everything that I own. And I'm going to be purging some books off my shelves as well. But I'm going to be doing that on my Kindle as well. So once I'm done my Harlequin shelves, these physical shelves behind me, I'm going to start going through my Kindle and deciding what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. So if it's a book I haven't read, do I see myself reading it, or was it a book I picked up for free because it was free and I'm not going to get to it? I'm just going to delete it. I'm just going to delete it. If it's a book it is marked as read on my Kindle, am I ever going to see myself rereading it? If the answer is no, delete as well. Because I just want that clean, fresh start. It's been like over almost 8 years, you guys, that I've been like on BookTube and doing all these things, and I feel good. And I think that's what the important thing is at the end of the day, is how would I recommend this to anybody else? No. No, unless you really do feel the same way. And like I said, it's not like this was something that just came out of nowhere. This has been years. I have been thinking about this, and I just really want to slow down and enjoy reading again. And I think that by taking that pressure off, it's going to help. Now, that's not saying I'm going to be reading more than one book at a time. I'm usually going to try and have a weekly TBR book, so one of these 4 books that I'm going to mention on the go, along with one of my Harlequin Project books on the go at the same time. So I'll be reading 2 books at once. Will I pick up audio? Probably at some point. Yes, I'm not saying I'm not going to be picking up audio. But what I've decided is that if I do decide to pick up an audiobook, I'm going to slow it down. And I'm not going to try, I know some people are like, I can only listen to it which I get. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, this narrator talks so slowly, I need to speed it up a little bit. I totally get that. But I found that I was like pushing it even faster than I normally would, just to get through books, just so I could have them to say, okay, it's the end of the week, I want to get this one finished for my wrap-up. If I only have 1 book to share with you guys on my wrap-up, I only have 1 book to share with you guys on my wrap-up. That's life, because life happens. So if I have 8 books to share with you guys on my wrap-up, bonus, So anyway, whole lot of chatting here for the last few minutes about this, but I just thought I'd share it with you guys. For those of you who do follow me on Goodreads, yeah, there's nothing there. I'm slowly adding stuff back. And B, if you do follow me, sincerest apologies, because you're probably going to be getting updates constantly that I've added stuff to my want to read shelf. So, sorry about that. Let's get into this week's TBR. So, the first book that I have is a mood read. I literally bought this one in June, and I've been so super excited to get to it. It's today, the day that this video is going up, it's Canada Day. I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the video. Happy Canada Day to my fellow Canadians. And I decided to start off with a book that is a great summertime read that takes place in Canada. It takes place in both Toronto and Muskoka. So Muskoka is like a lake region north of us. It's beautiful, beautiful. So we have Meet Me at the Lake by Carley Fortune. I am really, really excited about this one. Like I said, this is the perfect read for right now, I feel. You and Me in 1 Year, Don't Let Me Down. So it's one of those ones where they agreed to meet a year later. He never shows up. She ends up going back to her mother's to help her mother with the resort she runs in the Muskoka region. And he shows up at this lodge or whatever it is. So gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Yeah, this is absolutely what I want to dive into right now. I'm just so in the mood for it. The second book is for BookTube at War, which a lot of you, I didn't realize when I labeled the title of that video, how many of you, I did not do that for clickbait, my friends. I absolutely did not. I was talking about, of course, the readathon and Booktube at War, but I think a lot of people clicked on it thinking that there was some like Booktube drama going on. So my apologies, my friends. My apologies. But if you did see that video and you clicked on it for that reason and you stuck around, welcome and thank you very much. So Booktube at War, of course, is an event to read books that take place during a war. And the first one that I kind of spun the wheel of the 4 books that I had, the first book that I got here is The Swiss Nurse by Mario Escobar. Now, I don't have a copy of it right in front of me. It's actually over at Chapters. I decided to buy a copy. I was going to buy it on Kindle, and it was $14. But if I get the physical book, it's $18. Anyway, I've complained about this before. I'm not going to complain about it again. Ebook prices are ludicrous. If I've already spent $200 to $300 on a e-reading device, whether it be an iPad or a Kindle or a Samsung tablet or whatever, you should not be charging me through the nose for an ebook. But that's an entirely different video that I'm not going to talk about here. Like, I could go off on a rant on an entire video on ebook prices, but I'm not going to do that. So I decided to go ahead and buy a physical edition because why not? So I'm going to head over to Chapters after this and go and pick that up. So, of course, the picture itself will be over here. So as you guys know, I did get back on NetGalley. I don't have a ton of stuff on NetGalley, but I am working my way through the books that I do have on there. And I have one for this week. And this week's is Bookshop Cinderella by Laura Lee Guhrke. This is the first book in the Scandal at Savoy series. And this originally was published on June 20th, 2023. So this has already come out. But I am going to go ahead and get it read. It's a historical romance. Sounds great. Takes place in a bookshop, I guess, clearly by the title. I'm excited about it. I'm very excited about it. And last but not least, we have my throwback book. So again, with this revamp, I'm starting back at day one of the Babysitters Club. Kristy's Great Idea by Ann M. Martin. I got to a point that I think part of this too is like I got to a point in the series and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be over soon. I'm like, let's just restart it. So not only for the Babysitters Club, but also for Sweet Valley and both Nancy Drews. So it's fine. Guys, I read some of these books years ago. Like if you look at my Goodreads, there's nothing on Goodreads anymore, Sarah. If you had looked at my Goodreads before I decided to dismantle it, I read this book, I think I started rereading the Babysitters Club back 3 or 4 years ago. So it's been a while since I've read this one and I'm looking forward to it. I do have a physical edition like up on that shelf. Well, actually, if you look right there, I have the hardcover edition that I found at a thrift store for 50 cents. I'm not going to be reading that. I do own a copy on my Kindle, so I'm going to read it on that. But yeah, this is the kind of redesigned cover, which I do like. I do like. And then they have the new ones that they've put out that are like not tie into the Netflix show because they don't use the characters, but they redid the covers with these really cute drawings. I'll pop the first one up here. They really are cute. I've got the first batch of them. And I do kind of want to collect all of them, but I don't know if they're going to, like, how long they're going to do this for, whether they're going to do it for all 126 books, plus all the mysteries, plus all the super specials. I don't know, but this part of me kind of does want to collect all of them. Just to ask. I don't know. The thing is that I'm disappointed about as a longtime Babysitters Club reader is that they did change the fonts for their, so anyone who's not familiar with the Babysitters Club series, there are certain points in each story where one of the babysitters writes like this note in the notebook essentially, and it's written in their own handwriting, which back in the 80s when I read this was just so amazing. Like each babysitter has her very own handwriting style. Stacy always dotted her I's with hearts. Jessie wrote beautiful cursive script, that kind of an idea. And I noticed that all of it now in the new releases, they're all a form of printing. Like there's no cursive writing. And it's sad, but I think that's maybe because kids aren't taught that anymore in school. We were, obviously I'm from that generation, but kids today are not. Has anybody else noticed that anyway? I think it's also the same if you read the books on Kindle, but I'm not absolutely certain if I can remember that or not. But that was like so much fun for me in the older books. So this part of me is like, as much as I really love the new redone covers, part of me is like, if I'm going to collect the series, I kind of want the original books, if that makes sense. So I'm rambling on. I do apologize. So yes, we're going back to Kristy's great idea. And I will be starting that one today, even though my reading week doesn't start till tomorrow. I think I'm going to start this one this week and get it read. So yeah, you might see this one pop up on my weekly reads tomorrow on Sunday. It sounds weird for me to say tomorrow when tomorrow's only Saturday. Anyway, Sarah from the future. So guys, that is all that I have to share with you today. These videos are not normally this long, but I just want to talk about the revamp, the redo, whatever you want to call it. I am, like I said, so excited. I just feel this sense of peace and calm. I know it's only reading, and I know it sounds stupid that it's something that somebody shouldn't take that seriously, but reading is such a big part of my life and of who I am, as it's part of my personality. You know, even my coworkers now, like I've only worked there for almost 3 years. I'm the reader. I'm the one who always has a book on her. I'm the bookworm. You know what I mean? Like that. That's who I am. That's my personality, and I'm cool with it. You know, Sarah's a reader. Yes, she is, and has been her whole life. And I just really want to just get back to how it used to be and how I loved it back then, and take the booktube pressure off. And I think booktube itself is starting to really change to that aspect as well. To back off, to take stuff back, to get back to enjoying reading again. And I think that that's fantastic. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, you guys. If you think I'm crazy or I've lost, you know, my mind, please let me know in the comments below. If you don't think I lost my mind, let me know that in the comments as well. But anyway, we will chat down there, my friends. And until my next video, take care and happy reading, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.